go back and you look at what African Americans experienced in the South, especially coming out of slavery and the violence, a lot of folks left and were trying to find another way to make a living. So we have a group of African Americans that came west called the Exodusters. Benjamin Pap Singleton encouraged about 30 to 40,000 African Americans to leave the South. And Ida B. Wells Barnett in Nashville encouraged another 7 to 8,000 to leave Nashville. And these folks left. Some of them walked, some of them got on the Mississippi River to the Missouri River to Kansas. But a lot of them made it to Kansas. And we already had an underground railroad station called Quindaro, Kansas, but it was also a place to catch your breath. They scattered and created their own communities, including Nicodemus, Kansas, Mount Bayou, Mississippi, Boley, Oklahoma, Black Doom, New Mexico. Later on, we have Deerfield, Colorado, and there were more than 25 black settlements in Colorado. And when you look specifically at those 25 black settlements in Colorado, you can see that some of them were farming communities. Some of those communities were establishing themselves for mining. The black miners of Colorado, they were everywhere. There were miners up in Golden, Colorado, here in Denver, and Central City, Black Hawk, and throughout Gilpin County, because there was gold and people were out to seek out gold. We've got to look at mining and the movement west through several lenses. Not just one lens of the people that arrived, but also the lens of the people that were already here and the diversity of the people that arrived and their own experiences. And so with African Americans as an example, trying to leave the South and move away from slavery or move from back east where there were incredible restrictions on their lives, this was an opportunity to try to prove that they were human, that they could succeed at different endeavors, that they could raise their families and give them a better life and give them better options. African Americans found people that were welcoming them to the spaces, but we have pictures of African Americans standing with other folks in different communities around the West. And then we have stories from African Americans of challenges that they experienced with other folks in the West. So it depends on where you were and who you were with and what kind of experience. And you might have 5 people standing in front of you and one of them is welcoming you. The next one is cautious about who you are. The third one doesn't want you there whatsoever. The fourth one might be putting a gun to your head saying, get out. And the fifth one is trying to convince the other ones, you've got to give them an opportunity. And you have Clara Brown, wasn't a miner, but she was up in Central City, and when the miners brought their clothes to her laundry business to have them cleaned, she would shake the gold dust out of their clothing and collect it, and that helped her get her life on track. So she became fairly comfortable. I don't know if the right term is wealthy, but she was certainly comfortable. There were Eastern United States families, such as the Rockefellers and others, that were out to capitalize on the mining opportunities that they had in this part of the country. But the collateral damage, unfortunately, was the lives of many of the miners and their health and well-being. There were black miners during the Ludlow Mine Massacre. It's a very, very intense way to make a living. It's a scary way to make a living because you don't know what you're getting ready to encounter when you walk into the depths of a mountain. We have a miner's helmet with a little container for kerosene so they could light that on the top of their head. So you light it with a match and you've got kerosene on your forehead and you're walking into a mine with who knows how many different types of gases coming up and total darkness. So trying to navigate your way through that and then trying to light it up enough to take out what you're in there to mine. It's such a dangerous way to make a living, and I can imagine the toll it takes on your body. Just an incredible amount of pain and suffering, I think, that the miners went through living that life on a day-to-day basis.